Welcome to the She Births Show, a place to inspire your birth, evolve your parenting, and help you live a life you love. I'm Nadine Richardson, your host and creator of the scientifically verified birth education program, She Births. I'm also a mother, yoga teacher, doula, author, and speaker. At She Births, we have supported thousands of families around the world for over 13 years with our unique program, and our vision is to make birth better for every family around the world so that everyone experiences a beautiful birth no matter what unfolds. Not only do we help people have beautiful births, but we also give them the skills and the philosophy to enjoy pregnancy and make parenting easier. As well as our world-class birth ed, taken either face-to-face or online in our app, we also have a free pregnancy guide designed to help you feel calm, connected, and inspired as you and your baby grow. We have a doula matching service, the perfect way to ensure you and your partner are completely supported throughout the whole journey. And we have our Soul Mama Circles, which are the perfect postpartum network to help optimize your mindset and design your life in parenthood. Remember, if you like what you hear today, subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. If you're a parent, about to be one, fellow health professional, join us now for an inspirational deep dive into topics with experts around the globe. We hope you enjoy this special episode. Hello and welcome to our final episode of Season 9 of the She Births Show podcast. Today's episode is extra special because it's a conversation with my beautiful son, Leroy, who is now 22 years old. We start a dialogue together about what constitutes a good parent-child relationship and what fosters that. We end up going down some deep dives into education and values at home, the importance of community and teachers, of self-expression and freedom that we give to our children. And we discuss in reflection the priorities that I have endeavoured to bring into my parenting with Leroy to see if he also thinks they were a good idea in hindsight. We were going to talk about intuition, and Leroy does mention it a couple of times, but those topics that we sort of naturally fell upon seemed more relevant to you, our audience. I will have more conversations with Leroy, I hope, on the show, because a parent-child relationship is always in the process of growth and change. If you want to stay in a dynamic and loving one, if you want it to be alive. As he was talking about adolescence and his experience of identity changes, it felt so relevant to our new understanding of matresence and patresence, and even menopause and andropause. Yes, there is a male menopause. I wonder if, as a society, we can hold more compassion for all of these phases of change. Then we can start to connect with and even feel the privilege of having so many deep feelings across these times. As Leroy explains beautifully, he even misses them. Those intense feelings of adolescence where you feel everything. We chat about my regrets as a mum, regulation of the nervous system, the latest research and discoveries about our awakened or spiritual brain, the protection that spirituality and connection and perspective brings into our lives and for our children. And as you will hear, he is a very intelligent and very insightful young man studying philosophy, if I do say so myself. He is my greatest gift, and I couldn't be prouder. We certainly are not perfect, as you will hear in the conversation as well. I hope you have a few laughs with us, and I look forward to sharing more conversations with you next season. We're going to launch with an amazing chat with the wonderful Katie James from the Feeding Couch about boobs and feeding our babies. So it's winter here in Australia, and it feels like time to go inward, be a little bit more quiet. And I'm finding that my energy is deeply creative right now within these cooler months as I dive into the finer details of editing my book. I have just changed the title, and funnily enough, I was reminded that this was the title I had 5 years ago when I first sparked the thought. It's a bit like that buy the first car you see, but then spend all those times looking around. Anywho, the creative process is a wild one, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm so looking forward to sharing the book with you very soon. I feel really grateful to be in this creative process, and almost as grateful as I am to be a mum, but not really. I'm sending lots of love to you and your tribe. Please help others by sharing this episode. Their parents, they're having growing children. I'm sure it's going to help hear the wisdom of a 22-year-old. Or please give us a review as well, as we'd really love to hear from you too. What touched you? What do you want to hear more of? Wherever you are in this wonderful world, I hope you are having a beautiful time with your babies. You're getting ready to have a beautiful birth, and you are living a life that you love. You already ruined it. No, you didn't. It's okay. Perfect. Welcome, Leroy Britton, to the She Births Show.
Thank you. Great.
What did you say?
Great to be here.
Great to be here. Well, you're like the only person we have had on who's not involved in like birth, parenting, or health. Because it's all about She Births podcast is all about, helping you have a beautiful birth, enjoy your pregnancy, and live a life you love. But I wanted us to have our chat today because, hey?
This is when I tell you that Angelique's pregnant. No, I'm joking.
And I hate you both. No, jokes. We'll deal with it. Okay. Joking. So I wanted to have you on because I think it's quite a unique thing for my community or this audience, this tribe of people, to hear from a mum and an adult child and talk about, what makes a good relationship. So I just have to frame this for everyone who's listening, because when I said that, you're like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I don't know, anything. I said to you, well, we can talk about, how good our relationship is. And what did you say, Leroy?
I think I said, is that good? Or something like that.
It's not that good.
No, it is good. It is good. I think that there's rocky aspects to all relationships, and I think we did well.
Yeah, I can't hear you very well, darling. You're going to need to not mumble, and you're going to have to move closer to your microphone.
If I speak up a bit better, is that better?
Yes, and clearly your voice sounds like you've been vaping too much. Just saying.
Should I try using earphones?
No, it won't make any difference. No, just remember how when you were a kid, it was so funny. You used to order things like takeout and stuff in Bondi, and you'd be like, and they'd say, and what name? And what would you say?
Well, I wasn't very good at saying my own name because you don't really use your own name very much. So I just say Leroy, and they wouldn't be able to speak.
What?
Yeah. So I used to just go by Nathan, and then I learned that actually was my middle name, which was kind of a funny coincidence.
Well, Nathan is the English version of the Hebrew Matan, yeah. Well, I thought it would be good to explore, what is a great relationship between, I don't want to say parent, because it really is very different, the relationship between a mother, father, child, or, the primary caregiver, the secondary caregiver, however you want to define it. Do you think they're different relationships?
I mean, I can only really talk from personal experience on that level. But I would say there's something pretty like within like Western society about like the relationship you have as a young boy to your father and your mother and like the things that you might want to get out of it. Not that that necessarily denotes that you couldn't have a loving relationship of two mums or two dads or someone who wasn't cisgender, things like that. I think just within the way we're all structured, there's something that you kind of seek to get out of it. So, yeah, I think it is different, but not really. Like, it's just different on the surface level.
Interesting. Different on the surface level. I mean, because, you know, on a sort of biological level, your cells are still in my body. Like, your DNA crosses back into the maternal system. It's actually in my brain even. And then breast milk, I learned in my last podcast, has been found in the gut of like 50-year-old men. Like, that would freak you out.
Probably, I'll have breast milk in my gut till I'm like fucking 80 since you breastfed me for so fucking long. So, yeah.
I did it. That wasn't such a long time. Do you know what the World Health Organization says it should be? Minimum 2 years. Yeah, minimum 2 years.
Wasn't that
No. No, you weren't 4.
That's how old I thought I was, yeah. I'm glad I've blocked that out, trauma blocked that. Don't want to remember that so much.
Okay, well, feel free to ask me any questions throughout this podcast.
Your podcast, I want to. Yeah, it's your podcast. I'm looking forward to getting interviewed.
Okay, you like it. You like it.
Dialogue.
Well, I say to my parents that do she births to really savor the time that you have with your child as much as possible, to prioritize that as much as possible within all the sort of modern world constraints and restraints of other things that we have going on. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we only get 16 summers with our kids. And, you know, at 16, you know, you've got the car's keys, you're driving with, and it's actually probably that was like one of our most intense experiences, was teaching you to drive. Let's not go there just yet. Just hold on. Let me finish my thought, Leroy. And then, you know, by then it's all about you in your tribe of friends and getting the car by 17 and having a lot of freedom. And I said it really helps, you know, as they get older, to have enough money to take them and their friend on holiday. That's when you get to spend more time. So that's maybe where we should start. Do you think you really only get 16 summers of connection and influence?
I mean, a few of those summers I was like sneaking off to see girlfriends the whole time. So yeah, probably less for us. But I think that, yeah, there is some like poignancy to that. I think also really depends on like the age kind of that I would say your child matures at as well. I think we navigated that relatively well. But like, I think if you have a kid that's like wanting that independence earlier, I think that's also something that needs to be granted. I think I was definitely that kid. I don't know. I think the influence just changes. I'd say as well. Like, it's not that what you or dad say now don't have any impact on me. I think it has an impact in a different way. Like similarly to like feedback from like your peers as opposed to someone.
It's less direct, right? It's coming through your own filters.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. And I'd say as well, like, I think that's a good thing. Like, I think that maturation and then being able to decipher whether like those things that you've learned are truly like values you want to integrate, and then like reassessing as you get older, like going into your 20s, like a lot of those like life lessons imparted on you might want to like reassess how your parents get. So I don't think it's necessarily like just 16 summers of influence. I think you've probably got 16 summers of your kid actually wanting to hang out with you. Maybe like to that point, I still think like I feel like I value my time more with you since I've like not lived at home, since I've gotten a bit older. Like that definitely shifts. Like your desire to actually want to be with a parent. Whereas like 14, I would have probably been a bit like, oh, I don't want to leave my friends for school holidays and go on holiday with you. Whereas now I'd like really look forward to that because A, I have no money, and B, also it would be nice to spend my time with you. Like, for example, like going on that holiday with Grandpa. I think I would have, I mean, I always appreciated time with him, but like it was really special to get to do that.
Totally.
Like, this year.
Yeah. There's so many things in what you said there, and I suppose that point of maturation is a really interesting one because 16 summers is pretty generous. By the time, you started high school, I think most kids at 13, and it does depend, that it is individual, they really are forced into survival amongst peers and really trying to find identity. And let's just go down that rabbit hole for a moment because I was very anxious about sending you to Rose Bay Secondary School because it's a public school. And I did have it was where you were going to go because that's all I could afford. But I did have moments of panic prior. And I think grandma's feedback and then your feedback now is kind of really confirmed that it was the right choice for you. As much as I have regrets, I also have regrets around education and parenting. But yeah, tell me what you think about going to the local public high school.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, it still definitely has a bad reputation. I was talking to some of my personal training clients about it this morning. There was a year-old girl there from RGS, and she was saying that, like, it's still not considered a good school. And I had my fears about going there, but I mean, that's where a lot of my cohort went from primary school, so I was kind of looking forward to it. I think it's really just like one of those things where we can get onto the whole free will thing. But like, it's like, well, you don't know how it could have turned out. You know what I mean? Like, I had a great time at high school. I've made I'm still with my partner that I met there. I live with my best friend, who we weren't actually friends during high school, but we are best friends now. And so I think I really got a lot out of it. And maybe for my personality, it served a bit more. Like, I would be definitely a bit cautious of like sending someone who was really unsheltered there, who didn't have a strong support network, who I just got lucky in a lot of things. Like, I really enjoyed music. I had a good, strong core group of friends, but I really don't think it's school dependent. Like, talking in a like Sydney specific example, I do think, actually, no, I take that back, because I do think there is a culture around some old boys schools that isn't beneficial depending on which kind of kid you have. But I would, I would like trust your intuition with that stuff, with deciding on where to send your child a little bit. Like, but at the same time, you change so much at 13, like 12 and 13. Like, I was changed so much every year. Like, it feels just like massively different. So it's like, there's definitely years I really didn't like Rose Bay. I mean, I remember for a brief period there, I was like, I want to go to Joey's. I would have been like a rower. It's like, I've never done any sport ever in my life. So like, I would have been absolutely destroyed there. I would have been bullied so bad.
Well, I did think about Joey's. I did think about, Catholic. And I suppose I wanted a school that had a lot of pastoral care, not just academic pressure, and I knew you could keep up with like a real intellectual rigor and a lot of academic pressure. I knew you could go down that path, but I wanted you to have, I think, a more holistic kind of experience of life. And I felt like Rose Bay was like life school, it's a diversity experience. I really loved looking at that school. It's such a big change between primary and high school. Like in primary school, as a mum, you're like in the playground every afternoon. I was known as the cooey mum. Do you remember that? Because I used to like be on one side of the playground and go cooey like that. That was my little.
It would have been quite embarrassing. I
vaguely remember that. Blocked that one out. So yeah, when I used to come into Rose Bay, I was like, wow, look at the self-expression here. Like there was almost a club for every kid, to hang out with at lunchtime. And you don't see that in the really small schools around here. And you don't see it in those very old boys type schools.
Yeah, it wasn't homogenous at all. Have a set culture, I would say. And that was really good. Like, I mean, and especially I think now, interacting with all those different kinds of people, like I can like self-reflect at this age and be like, wow, I was a dick to those people. Oh, like I should have given them more of a time of day. I can understand it a bit more, as opposed to just like, oh, like they were just like rugby boys and then like non-rugby boys. So I'm really glad I didn't go to a single-sex school. I probably would have got a whole lot more homework done. But
yeah, you would have.
Yeah, I enjoyed. But I mean, the intellectual rigor thing again. Like, I don't know how necessarily true all that is. Like, I get much better marks at university than I ever did at high school, and it's just so different. Like, I just really don't think it's hard to see much correlation between any of them. Like I had meetings in year 10 with the principals and them saying like I wasn't going to make it to year 12 and stuff like that. And then it's like, well, just don't think you can make that judgment that early.
No.
And now for a quick break. At She Births, we believe that pregnancy, birth and matresence, the sacred postpartum, is an awesome rite of passage. Our free holistic pregnancy guide offers you 6 months of weekly support. Drop straight into your inbox or within our free She Births app, you can get content that will nourish your body, mind and soul. You can enjoy prenatal yoga videos, great recipes, birth affirmations, course discounts and more. From me and my team, the creator of the world's only scientifically verified antenatal classes, it is our gift to you. Sign up today and receive the free holistic pregnancy guide at shebirths.com/PG. That's shebirths.com/PG.
So many memories.
Not really any helpful advice there. Like, just like basically saying you have no idea what to do. But anyway.
I suppose for people listening out there, my mum is a school principal or a retired school principal of an independent school, which happened to also be all girls and Catholic. And, and an extremely good school. Like she transformed that school from like smokers and sluts was really what it was known for. That's how it's horrible, like what it was known for, to this school that was full of like culture and diversity and arts programs and refugee programs and like heaps of beautiful Indigenous children coming in on scholarships. Like it was, I think we had like 60 different nationalities, and one year the school captain was Muslim, the next year the school captain was Indigenous. Like it was just such a celebration of an amazing school. And so I was like, come on, Mum, like tell me what to do and can you pay for the school fees and all that kind of stuff. But she just said, stop being ridiculous, Nadine, as only a school principal can. She goes, it makes no difference in the end. What really makes a difference is the values that you have in the home. And that really landed, and I never thought about it, talked about it again. So maybe then that can lead us into well, what does that mean? What were our values, and how did your upbringing create you as a 22-year-old, studying philosophy in a rock band, punk rock band? What do you think contributed?
Maybe the values are created at home, but the values are tested in the school environment.
Very nice.
The values are tested with your friends. Yeah. That's where you see, it's only a value if you're forced to compromise, or if you're forced to really give something up. Otherwise, it's not really a value, right? If you just change it every time something comes and you have to sacrifice. And I think that's where high school and that time is really valuable and important. And going into uni, Stephen Fry says, I always like that thing of him saying, uni is there to figure out what you don't want to do. I would a bit biased, but a big proponent of arts and doing humanities and stuff like that. Find out that you hate law, find out that you hate doing
which
economics.
Is what you do.
Don't just yeah, exactly. And I would say the same thing in high school. I'd say the other, just last thing before we move on, that was really valuable about a public school system in Australia was that the teachers at our public school were not there for money. And I think that really made a difference in year 11 and 12 when you get to that point. And so many of those teachers were so fundamental to who I am now, almost as, not as much as a parent, but as much as some close friends. They really, having that belief in you from teachers, is really a game changer when it comes to what passions and you want to follow.
That's just such a beautiful
Yeah, I'd say values from home. I'm not too sure. I was always think probably the thing I'm most grateful for was my sense of expression at home. I could always be extremely outgoing and eccentric. I was a bit of a character. Probably say I still am. And I really wasn't eccentric.
Eccentric? I would never say you're eccentric, but it makes my heart sing to hear you say you felt like you could be fully expressed at home, because that is just to me. So happy to hear that.
Yeah. There was definitely differences between your house and Dad's house and things like that. And I think I got maybe more of my core judgments and maybe ways that I would look at and perceive the world through Dad, but I'm not sure if all of them were necessarily helpful, not to any of his things, but it's I get to an age and I go, well, maybe I actually don't agree with that. There's also a bit of a idolization of your dad, I think, as a young boy. You can kind of reflect on that when you get a bit older. But Dad was very forthcoming, and I feel you were for the most part as well, of well, you realize that parents act like they have all the answers, but they're just figuring stuff out too.
Yeah. I think, I'm still a daughter, of course, right? And I'm always going to be a daughter. I don't know what it's like when both parents pass. I don't know if you still feel like a daughter. But yeah, I think that's such a key thing to remember. Parents are not superhumans. They're just people working it out as they go along. And I
think something where as a child I got a lot more respect for you guys from. I would say the parents, I don't think you guys were either of you. You occasionally, but ever parents that were do this because I told you so, or do this because I'm your mum. There was always a bit of a conversation about it. I feel the freedom you granted me, you were always the cool mum. You always let us do things that maybe we weren't allowed to do at other parents' houses. But I think that was really helpful for me. I parents' intuition a bit there. Don't have too much fear of your kids exploring and being free. they do it anyway, or they're just going to do it and not
exactly. And
tell
I
you.
think that was the big driver. I think there's two sides to that. And so you're sort of saying that you started your individuation process really earlier than some of the kids, like around 13. That's what you sort of alluded to. And I think you were really confident in who you were. And I put that down to healthy attachment and love, as well as that core value of like, I'm going to encourage you to be yourself and express authenticity, whatever's real for you. And I really believe that the more we love our children and, you know, in the early years, the more the elastic band actually stretches, because it's like a sort of energetic umbilical cord. So I think that that's what I believe. And also I believe that, I wanted you to tell me if you were drunk. I wanted you to tell me where you were if you were going to have a naughty escapade down in Bondi Junction. I needed to know that you were safe, because safety is, you know, it is that core value of being a good parent. And I would put my fears and my ego aside and my judgment aside. Like,
and there's a fine line, obviously, like but like this whole like life 360 thing, like where parents like track, it's like a tracker on kids' phones, like, and like so you can see where they are all the time. Like, I don't know about that. I was like very grateful that my parents never did that to me. And again, because you just find ways around it. You just put your phone on airplane mode and say that it died.
Okay, well, hopefully these parents who are hearing this don't let their kids listen into it as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that, like, how can you expect that, like, it's like the one-sided parent relationship thing. Like, if you act like you have all the answers, and if you act like you're this responsible person and, like, you don't give trust one way, like, how can you accept it to be reciprocated? How can you expect it to be reciprocated? I think would be my thing. And you don't. Like, if I didn't feel like you were forthcoming or dad was forthcoming and things like that, like, why would I be forthcoming?
Totally.
I think is probably the main thing that I was like always grateful for. I mean, that did lead to, like, we've had some pretty significant spats, but, you know, like, that's all like part of it. I'm always a bit worried about people's parents and them who never argue. It's weird.
Parents and kids don't argue, really?
Don't be. Some don't. Like, partners don't argue, friends don't argue. Like, that's like vitriol. That's like life. I think shows that you care. There needs to be passion there. I think we're both passionate people. Same with dad. Like, he's fucking South African, so there was always going to be
fire
there.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose, you know, in preparing for this chat and, you know, as I was sort of developing more around parenting and trauma and stuff like that in my book and in the courses that I'm running now, not just about childbirth, but sort of more the sort of lead in and the growth after. I suppose I've really thought about that, and I feel like I kind of effed up in your childhood, but at the same time, I know I did the best I could. I didn't know enough about the nervous system, and I didn't know enough about awareness of my own nervous system and know how to regulate my nervous system. And I feel like I didn't get to teach that, therefore, to you.
Can you elaborate a tiny bit more? What do you mean?
Like, what I know now about the nervous system, you know, we've got that sort of rest and digest, and we've got the fight or flight. And the fight or flight, though, really came from the studies on men's bodies. And since then, we've understood that the female expression of her body in stress is often fitting in or fawning, being a good girl, versus freezing. But I think there were probably times, I think just having that awareness and having that knowledge of hacks, like little nervous system hacks, somatic hacks, like where you can hold the body like this in a kind of bind. This is somatic experiencing from Peter Levine, or havening, to just down regulate the nervous system. Because I think you and I both are Aries. Not that, it's a thing, but we're both very fiery, and we're both very self-expressed, and we both have a lot of passion in what we do in our lives. We both really care. And so you and I, our fires would just like bounce off each other. It was like bang, bang, bang. And I used to notice it when people came to the house. And like I noticed like your partner and your close male friends are all really calm people, like completely different to kind of you and me. And I just wonder if we sort of bring those people around us because we don't know how to downregulate ourselves enough. So I think I spent being a solo mom, being a solo entrepreneur, even though my job is calming other people and holding space, a lot of the time I could have been very fiery at home.
Teacher. Huh? Yeah, and being a yoga teacher, that was always funny to me. I used to throw that one at you in some arguments. Coming home, getting into yelling arguments with me, and then very yoga teacher. That was amazing.
Well, you're still human, right? And we're still learning. And I think I understand myself and my nervous system under stress, like beyond what I did then. And I wish I had been able to teach you some of those skills about, because I feel like you kids kind of have this access to vaping and alcohol and, and scrolling. I mean, it's like, though I see the Steiner kids here, they're still got addictions to, those things too, some of them. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe, yeah.
I mean, it was really good. I still think there was some skills and stuff. Like, I was really grateful for, like, how long I did Kung Fu for. I think that was really helpful for me. Like, I'm a big believer in everyone doing a martial art.
You started with Aikido when you were like 5, didn't you?
Yeah, really young. And then I did like, what else did I do? Like jiu-jitsu, and then like
MMA.
boxing, and then Kung Fu. Yeah, Kung Fu for a long time. I really enjoyed that, and I think I got a lot out of it. I think those, again, for everyone, like just like some form of physical exercise output. And I still think like reading into like going back to that whole like high school thing, I think what's so like reflecting on it now, what was so valuable, and sometimes I would say I maybe miss it, is like just like how deeply like you felt everything at that age. Like you're so pumped, full of hormones, and then everything's like a first experience, and then it's like, oh my God, your first like heartbreak and your first like fight and your first like all these things. It was just like, oh. And then all of a sudden, like you had the best week ever, and you like did something for the first time. And then the next week, you're like, no, Mom, I am depressed. You don't understand. Like, it's great. Like, I think that was like, I was talking about it the other day. It's like you can have like love for someone now, or like, but those like first friends, it was just like so like, oh my God,
so intense. Yeah,
and I think that like. I think really, even to this age, like even when I feel sad or something like that, like it's a nice thing to reflect on and just be like, wow, how grateful am I to like be able to feel this so deeply, even if it's not really what we would say like a good emotion is. Like, it's just like, wow, like this is my feeling.
That's so beautiful.
I think that's nice.
Like, that's so beautiful. Django's come to say hi. I think, yeah, it's so beautiful. Like, what a privilege to be able to feel things so deeply and to be held in safe, loving arms through that as well. I think, I hope you were given that freedom to feel all your feels,
This is, I mean, I'm coming from a biased place of like, feeling things deeply, not being like feeling famine, just feel famine really deeply. Like, it's just like, what a beautiful thing. Like, I'm not saying that. Or like feel, but there's some value to it. Like your fluctuations. I think Dad's lesson and your lesson of that was really helpful. Like it's hard to remember all the time, but it's like, well, if you expect life to just be like this aim towards good and happy, you're always going to get upset when it's sad. It's like someone like getting upset when the sun goes down and being like, oh, but it's gone dark and it's horrible. But it's like that realization that it goes dark for everyone all the time. And that is just like the cycle of it all. So then you just get a different appreciation of like, okay, that's just one of those times. You're always in a run of good luck until it's bad luck and vice versa. And then it's like, well, that's just it.
Yeah, that's true. And good luck until it's not. It's bad luck. I think that's funny. Is that like a topic in philosophy? Life is just good luck until it turns into bad luck.
Well, it is. You're in like you're in a series of good luck until it's bad luck. It's fucking true.
That's so good, though. I feel like you could like be a philosophy lecturer already, you know, like, and that could be like, is life just good luck until it runs out, and then it's bad luck until it changes. I think that's great. And now for a quick break. Contrary to popular culture, She Births believes that childbirth can be the best day of your life. It is designed perfectly to be empowering, enriching, and bonding. An awesome rite of passage. Our childbirth education programs have helped thousands of families around the world since 2008, allowing families to not only feel empowered through education, but also connect with their innate birthing wisdom to create the best birth possible and begin their parenting journey with confidence. She Birth's unique methodology was scrutinised in university trials and has been published in the British Medical Journal for improving birth outcomes for both mother and child. I'd like to invite you to begin preparing for birth today. Just go to shebirths.com to discover our 2-day weekend face-to-face courses or access the online courses from anywhere around the world. That's shebirths.com. Create your beautiful birth with the world's only scientifically verified antenatal classes. Going on to that, now, you have mentioned the words intuition twice. Just going to highlight that fact, and this season is all about intuition. But I've been doing some more research on the brain, the latest sort of neuroscience of the brain, and they've discovered that every single one of us has a spiritual component or an awakened aspect to our brains. So this wonderful like clinical psychologist, Dr. Lisa Miller, it's her second book. Her first book was The Spiritual Child, which I haven't read yet, but this one really caught my fancy, The Awakened Brain. And it really, when she's talking about the awakened brain, she's talking about where we shift into a different perspective on life and we take that broader zoom out perspective. I do love the fact that she just says, you know, manifestation is bullshit. I love that because I agree. It's not. It's a dialogue. Life is a dialogue with some higher power, whatever you want to call that. And she also says that the spiritual component of our brains, which they measure now in endocrinology and fMRIs, a third of that is really constituted within the individual, but 2/3 of it will be nourished according to people around you or not. And she also says that it is a very, I mean, it's something like, I can't remember the actual data, but it's really profound, a huge protector against suicide and depression, particularly for adolescents. And I don't know, I mean, I just think we can't talk about the physicality of parenting or the mindset or the belief systems and the values without talking about the emotional things that we've mentioned and also the spiritual element to life, you know? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I like that idea of like a spirituality meaning kind of whatever it means for you. I think finding your own definition of it's really important. I mean, I'm not religious. I don't really subscribe to like any of that stuff. I don't think that's helpful. But I do think like having your own time for connection Like, I mean, I'll probably butcher it, but like there's a woman called Simone Weil, and she talks about that, like this thing of like, God is you, God is good, and it like lives in all of us. Like there is the act of anyone doing good is this act of like God, and she doesn't use it in the sense of like a Judeo-Christian God or an Abrahamic religion God or anything like that. It's just like God is this existence of the good.
That.
And she talks about like ways of connection as well, and like a thing that we're missing. I mean, like we need to express that in community or cute. And in spaces. And I don't think that necessarily means church. Maybe for some of you, some people listening, or but like for someone else, it might be big yoga classes, group meditations, concerts. I think that sense and feeling of community is really valuable. And your own connection to spirituality. Maybe spirituality for you is like a swim on a Sunday morning and spending time on the grass.
Yeah, grass on the North Bondi, the grassy knoll at North Bondi. It's like health and hedonism all mixed together. It's awesome. Remember the Bondi hipsters used to say that? Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's like for me, it's like playing music with my friends. Like you always used to talk about like Dharma and passion and things like that. And I think one of the valuable lessons was like those things, like do more of those things where you like lose track of time. I think that's when you come into flow. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. That's pretty much how she describes spirituality. And so it is a definition. I mean, it's defined as feeling loved, held and guided. Loved, held and guided by something greater than yourself. And I think you're right. In another word, it could be, your own sense of connection or communion with self, nature, other. And one more thing I suppose I wanted to say, I remember talking to your dad, when you were a little baby, and we felt it was really, really important, and this is like a really pragmatic thing now, but that you had, one musical instrument, one sport, and what was the other thing?
Really super
it was
important.
It was about hobbies. Like, was it really important to have?
I think that's something at this age that I'm really grateful for. Like, something I've found on my own, but like music, the ability to exercise, the feeling of like, I know a lot of people my age who are like really struggle, and that's such bullshit. Like that whole thing of like people, all these adults being like, oh, well, it doesn't matter what your hobby is unless you can turn it into like money. Like that's just not true. Like the way that our like capitalist society is built is that you have to work and then you have leisure. And if you don't have anything in your leisure time, except for thinking about your upcoming work day, it's going to be a whole lot fucking harder. So like find something to reconnect with. Hopefully you can find a way to integrate work and leisure and not feel alienated from your labor.
That's right.
If you can't, like nothing that gives you that kind of like essence outside of it. Like I'm looking at my guitars now, I think it's like it's so special for me to have that. I have such a passion for film, for philosophy, for music, for like movement.
I think that's
like,
almost that things. You've often felt that you've got too many passions. Like you wish you had this one,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that is also true. Like that paradox of choice, like it's nauseating. Like thinking about all the options you have, it like makes you feel a bit sick.
No, but that's also. I was listening to a filmmaker today who's actually got a screening tonight at the Sydney Film Festival, and I'm a bit bummed I'm not there. The Ballad of Suzanne César was a famous surrealist painter and writer, and they were just talking about like the experience of art being enough and life being enough even if it's fragmented, and it is hard to manage Django. You can tell that there's a schmackos there, but the schmackos is for when you're in your bed and you're on my lap right now, so you're not having it. So, it's that femininity, like especially a lot of people listening to this are mothers.
So, we're talking about like raising happy kids, but also like in ourselves, like fragmented also means, not achieving, putting all your eggs in one basket and achieving like great things in one linear career. It can often mean a licorice all sorts kind of bag of like different flavors and textures. Jangy, no. You're going to have to get down, my sausage dog. You go to bed. Into bed.
Well, I mean, that's just, I'd say, part of the way that our culture's like shifted now is like this thing of, wow, that's a successful person who can have a corner office and make this money to then like go and spend that time overseas and retire at 50. Like, is that a successful person? Is someone like who's involved in their community and is like a pillar for other people, who has raised like beautiful children or doesn't have any children and devotes their life to another project? Like, I think we're so obsessed with this, what is the word I'm looking for? We're kind of obsessed
capitalistic
with like,
success, isn't it? Like,
this whole like immortality of our work. It's like that's that whole thing of like everything we do is to avoid thinking about our own death. We just want to have like impart something on the world. We do that through kids. We do that through this. We do that through that. I think we lack a lot of, like, sounds cliche, but just general appreciation for like the everyday. And that's partly the fault of the way our media is structured and our society is structured. Like, you do more gratitude. Fuck promotions. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think it's really hard, isn't it? Like that, holding that the balance between like a bit of hustle and going beyond our limiting beliefs into like the realm of sharing our artistic work, like you guys do, and with your music and self-promotion and following dreams, and also just like, in yoga we call it santosha. The art of contentment is one of the virtues. I mean, the most important virtue is nonviolence. Like, everything comes back to nonviolence in our thinking, in our words, in our deeds. Ahimsa. And then there's all these other yamas and niyamas, like kind of like the 10 commandments, the 5 do's and the 5 don'ts. And santosha is one of the do's, like really to cultivate. But it is a balance, right? It's a total balance. You seem to have the balance pretty good, although sometimes I feel like you're doing way too much.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I necessarily have the balance that good. It's always trying to feel like I'm not doing enough. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I definitely feel like I'm grateful for university and I enjoy my degree. I don't think I've necessarily got the university experience. I think that's a tough thing about Australia. But
I think the university experience is a bit of an illusion, potentially. I mean, I didn't have it either, but obviously you had COVID.
Yeah. It's a bit different. I have friends who went to like college at University of Sydney and they had a good time. Like, I just don't know very many people who've made friends at uni in Australia. So I think that's quite challenging. That would, like, going back to the high school thing, I would say that's maybe something that's a bit tough here. Like, we have the friends you make at high school are really that core group that you carry through. I don't know many people whose core group is university. But I guess at the same time, if you're in that position and you're if you're lucky enough to like have the disposition to be able to go to uni and put yourself out there and make friends, I'm sure you could. But a lot of people, because we don't move for uni in Australia, I haven't left. I've lived in the same 10, 20 Ks.
I don't think it's that. So it's like, I don't think it is the not moving. I think it's maybe it is. But I think it's the financial stress of living in Sydney, to be honest. Like, you guys have to work really hard to like cover your costs and you've got other dreams.
I think that's definitely part of it now. I mean, like the cost of living thing is like making an effect. Like, not really feeling like my 20s have been this time of just non-stop partying and paying $50 for rent. Like, it's like worked the whole time, turned 18 during COVID, like
Yeah.
live on my own.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, but I'm still like have had great experiences and had the opportunities to travel. But I do think that not moving is, maybe not the only thing, but it definitely plays a part.
You're probably right. I also want to say, like, I didn't really make friends at university either until the final sort of, I mean, I stretched out my degree into 5 years, I think 4.5, and went part-time and was working as well. And in that last 18 months, we made films. So when you have to make a film with people, you really make friends. So like really partnering up and becoming the producer, and Jessica Grimberg being the director, and then, she is, a good friend. Like, that's a solid kind of connection. But prior to that, I mean, I was probably clinically depressed. I mean, I was for half of it. And then the other half, I still had friends from high school. It's true. I was still hanging out with them. Yeah. And boyfriend.
Yeah.
That was it. Like you. It was very like you.
I don't know. I think it's like the not moving thing. I don't know if that's valuable, like that, because there's so much of like life in stages kind of thing, like primary school, high school. Then there's kind of this like weird transition from like high school to uni. And like, if you don't move out, I don't know. I think maybe I would have benefited a bit from that. I think, but at the same time, I think I've matured a lot more. Like, you're so different, like every year, probably, until it's like who I was when I went to Europe, who I was 2 years ago. It's so different now.
And I suppose I want to say about the not moving thing. Now, Delilah, you've come through because you can tell it's Leroy on the phone. You're not being good. That was, I suppose, the third thing that I really wanted to give you as a child was consistency and community in one place. So because I didn't have that as a kid, we moved towns, every 2 years with mum's career and so on. And I felt like I never made good friends that I was able to feel that security with and continuation with. And it was very hard always starting new schools, particularly when your mum's a school principal or the deputy principal and all that. So, I really wanted you to have safety and community and to be able to run around to people's houses and to be within like walking distance of school and then 5-minute drive to high school. Like, it was like so important to me that you had that.
No, I think that's something I was super grateful for. Like, that community I have is still all my best friends. Like, my best friends from high school are still all there. Like, I have, maybe I didn't have like one consistent childhood home. Like, I'm a product of like a divorced family, but like, I still feel like a strong connection to Sydney as my home and Bondi as my home. And it was a very like core thing for you, but it was also for Dad, like him being someone who changed schools at 17. Like, that's what a terrible age to like move countries, like, and lose all of that connection and try and like jump into groups of people who already have that. Like, that's really tough. So I was really glad that I didn't do that. And I mean, like, I still got experience and like I wasn't like sheltered, like HMI. Again, Rose Bay, like maybe it would have been different if I went to like a small private school in the area and I was just like a Rose Bay kid. Like, but yeah, I think I was really grateful for my high school and like 16 to 18 experience.
I suppose I really want to talk about HMI and sending you to Colorado, but I feel like that could be like a longer conversation than what we put in here. Or what do you feel? I mean, I can tell people why I sent you to Colorado. Do you know why I sent you to Colorado?
Because those friends recommended it?
No. Well, yeah, I heard from the people who made that beautiful documentary, Yoga Woman, Kate and Mick, that they'd sent their son, who's a few years older than you, to that. And he was the first Australian to go to this institute. But you were in year 9
and you came home from school and you were in the selective stream and your close friends, you relayed a conversation that you'd had with your close friends at lunchtime. And what you said was, I just shared with, blah, 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 these people, what I want to do when I grow up.
Mm.
And I said, yeah, good. And he's like, you said, well, they just think like I'm aiming too high and like I should just like cut myself down a little bit. And I was like, what did you say, darling? Like, what did you say you wanted to do? Do you remember what you said?
I don't know, singer.
Yeah, I think you said rock star,
I
like manage a hedge fund and like be a business entrepreneur and like all these things. And everyone just sort of cut you down. And I just sort of thought, oh, that's insane. Like this is like the smartest kids in the school and they're only in year 9 and they're already like cutting down the tall poppies. There's only one place for my son to go, and that is America.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful aspect of that country. And
it is a beautiful aspect, absolutely.
Like that hope does lead to a lack of self-awareness, I would say, on the general level. I'd say that's something like Brits and Australians and the Irish and stuff have a lot more of. It's like this sense of like, because you feel like you're going to be judged by other people. You do a bit of self-judgment, which is not always good, but is sometimes beneficial. I think there's a lot of Americans you meet and you're like, oh, you could do with like a tiny bit of thinking about yourself and how you might occur for other people. And yeah, I was really grateful for that opportunity. It was like amazing to see. I was really young. It's amazing to see the country like that. I mean, I don't know if I got any like long-standing friends out of it, but I'm sure if I went back over there, I could say hi to them. And it was just like I definitely felt like that was a shift in kind of who I was prior to that. In person, I was also going through like a tough time at school. At that point, year 9 is always everyone's worst year.
It is such an ugly, awful, intense, painful.
Yeah, I think it's just everyone starting to kind of go through puberty, then like middle of like just like your adolescence, kind of trying to be like an early adult, but you're not really yet. I was young for my year, so I would have been like 14, 15 maybe. Really testing what I really like. I feel like I should be taken more seriously than I am. But you also have no idea what you're talking about. Oh my God. Like I look at my little brother and then think about the things I was doing at that age and I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh my God. What was I doing? Such a rush as well to like grow up, I think, at that age. Because you're like 15 or 16 and you're like, oh, I should just be 18 already. Like I really should. And you're like, no, you shouldn't at all. Not yet. God. And then even like then, like I look back at like being 18 and I was like, oh my God, like what was I thinking? Like why would I
drive that fast? Why?
Yeah, I was pretty fine with that. It was just texting
all
in the car.
That stuff. Yeah. That's I think so. Just for the people who don't know, High Mountain Institute is this extraordinary place in the highest point or the highest village of the Rocky Mountains near Leadville. And I couldn't afford the full semester, but I could afford the summer holiday, which was 6 weeks, wasn't it? And then you went and did you have a week in LA with your?
Well, we had a week before, and then we went, and then I had a week.
And as I dropped you off and drove down the mountain, I just had to stop because I couldn't even see the road because I was crying so much. I had to go and sit by a river and just bawl my eyes out. It was such a big, like, letting go moment as a mum, like just there's so much like the easiest way to balance out the pain of letting go of your child. It's so filled with is to be aware of like what's truly there is just such happiness for their happiness, like for your joy, for your experiences that you were going to have. I was just like so happy for you. And that,
I think I just want to say, like with HMI, probably reflecting on it now, one of the things that I remember being really important and really helpful, and maybe ties kind of well into all of the rest of our conversations about like changing and getting new friends. I think that experience of like going and meeting people who have never met you before, and you kind of get this opportunity to like recreate your identity. Like suddenly I was in a group of people. I wasn't like kind of stuck in a box of like being the unathletic kid or like being this person and being that. So then you like get around and you're like, wow, I can kind of involve myself in a valuable thing. And you get to do that again at uni. And maybe that's maybe more of the benefit you would get from moving during university. I'm big, as someone who's lived their whole life in one spot, I'm a big proponent of moving around, but even though I haven't done it, but I still think like meeting new friends, meeting new people, getting into new environments. Because then you get to like come back home and you can recheck and you can be like, oh, well, I liked that aspect.
Totally.
That I was kind of like seize that kind of like identity or person.
I love that so much because, you know, I can compare it so much to the maternal adolescence sort of understanding of our brains and the core change that's happening in matrescence, and to the same extent maybe in patrescence is an identity shift. And so, you know, we create mothers groups and it allows you to go in to a sacred space and be with that ever-changing identity, and often with women, or usually with women you've never met before. So I think what was really unique about HMI was that they held a sacred space. Like it was a sacred place in nature. There was no phones. You were out hiking for weeks and, you know, interacting with bears. And there were fires around, and then we were just trusting in your abilities. But then you guys also got to share. You know, you had you held council, right, every afternoon when you're out hiking. Most people don't know what that is. They've never had that. And
no, that was you had to share each evening, had to like write something. So yeah, the whole aspect of self-reflection. I mean, I remember like the final thing that you do, but kind of before the end, is you have to do 24 hours like solo camping. Oh my god, I hate being a mother on my own. So I struggled with that. I just slept, I think, the whole time.
Dissociated.
And just, like, yeah, literally, I hate it. But it's that I think that's something that I'm really grateful for. Like with you and Dad, like Dad's participation his whole life, him and Brett, like founding the original men's groups and things like that. It's always been a big aspect. Like that sensitivity. I think that's really valuable. Like learning. I was always so sensitive, and like sometimes to my detriment. Of like just taking everything so personally, because I had kind of been raised on that thing of like, well, it's so nice to be in touch with your emotions, and then kind of like learning as you get older that there's like such power in being able to cry in front of other people, but there's also like strength in being able to know when it's appropriate or know when something really should affect you like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the self-reflection aspect of HMI and those experiences were really
amazing.
Helpful.
Well, I'd love to talk more about, like, you know, the quarter life crisis. Like, is that real? Not just I can talk about midlife crises because, you know, there's even a male term for menopause. Menopause is for women, but andropause. It is. It's called andropause. Their testosterone goes down in the male, just like it does when they become fathers, which I only learnt the other day. But I'd love to talk more about, like, you know, rites of passage and initiation and individuation and your 21st birthday, because that for me was an extremely emotional birthday experience. Like, I've tried to post a photo, and you're 22 now, and I haven't been able to post a photo about it. So I just thought it would be nice to unpack, because we both did cry, actually, when we spoke publicly at your birthday. I don't know. I just thought it would be good. We could have another one if you feel like it, Leroy. Maybe I haven't stuffed up as much as I thought.
Yeah, no, I don't think you. I'm just being nice because we're on podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to the folks out there, folks at home?
No. Thank you for listening to me waffle. Yeah, no, that'd be good. Quarter life crisis, I think, is something definitely everyone should touch on. Really. I think it's overlooked. I think the 20s is like, I mean, again, biased because I'm living it, but I think 20s is like the hardest age. Like it's so much self-discovery and you think you're asked a lot about like, what do you want to be when you grow up when you're 15? Like getting asked like, what do you want to do? What are you doing now? Like you should be doing the thing that you want to be doing now. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. I think that's pretty hard. Like all that, like, but like you actually should be an astronaut now. Like if you want to, or you should be on the path to be.
Yeah.
So that's hard.
And again, leading into a spiritual perspective is going to help regulate all of those things and offer new perspectives, hopefully. Yeah, all of those things. All right, my love. Well, you go and catch up on the uni because it sounded like you didn't go today. WN.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play tennis. I'll do uni later.
Okay, well, give Seb my love and Angelique, and love you. And I'll be down in Sydney next week, and I'll see you then. Meet the sausages. Cool. Love you.
Thank you. Lots of love. Bye.
I'm Nadine Richardson, and you've been listening to the She Births Show. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. We'd love to know what you would like to hear more of. You can find me and my team of amazing doulas and educators at shebirths.com and our awesome community on Instagram and Facebook. Within any good app store, you can download our free pregnancy guide via She Births, 2 separate words and plural, as well as access our range of online courses. Remember, when it comes to having a better birth, an easier transition into parenthood, your education is your empowerment. Don't forget to check out the catalogue of previous podcasts, and thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show.